Hey everyone, it's Tokyo Joe here, coming at you live from Tokyo Midtown, Tokyo, Japan. Friends, these are troubled times for the world. And here's another reason. I know you're thinking about fuck you, your reactors. Well friends, fuck you ain't nothing but a duck's fart compared to what I'm about to tell you. Friends, I lived in this city once, and there is a famous Japanese city in the south of Japan. In fact, it's in the south of the southernmost of the big 4 islands of Japan, Kyushu, right? Kyushu is the big one at the bottom. Shikoku is the small one between the real big one and the big one at the bottom, right? Honshu and Kyushu, right? Kyushu is the big one at the bottom, and there's a city there called Kagoshima, right? Kagoshima. And by the way, friends, if you want to know how to speak Japanese, I am starting a new podcast called Learning the Japanese coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Getting back to it. There is an interesting fact about the city of Kagoshima that I bet you don't know. Well, I'm Tokyo Joe, I know Tokyo, and I know Kagoshima. And let me tell you something, friends. This is an amazing fact. Kagoshima lies in a kind of a natural harbor down there. In fact, it is a famous military naval base historically for the Japanese. I believe that when they had the war with the Russians, 1904-05, when they beat the Russians, in fact, the Straits of Fukushima, I forget the name of the battle, right? But they defeated two Russian navies in one battle. I believe that the Navy was based in Kagoshima, so it's kind of a famous city in Japan. But here's the interesting thing, friends. Kagoshima lies on top of a massive volcano, right? It is built on a huge trough, which is a volcano-tectonic depression. About 120 kilometers long. They use kilometers over here, right? And it's about 30 kilometers wide. And it is a massive, massive caldera, which is the plug of basically a huge volcano, right? It is called the Aira caldera. Aira caldera, right? Now, this caldera was created approximately 22,000 years ago from a massive eruption, which caused huge volcanic flows, and it caused this caldera to form, right? This is at the very south of Japan, right? And basically, Kagoshima and a couple other cities like just small cities actually are within the caldera, right? And people are saying that this is due for another one, but who knows? 22,000 years? I don't know how long it takes for these things to go, right? You know, with all the stuff happening in Iceland last year, a couple of years ago, and all the quakes around eastern Japan, maybe something big's going to happen. If it doesn't happen here, maybe it'll happen in Fugaku, which is the ancient Japanese word for Mount Fuji, right? Because that's also a big volcano. I'll tell you what's even more interesting about the Aira caldera. It is a big ass motherfucker volcano. It is enormous, right? It is huge. Okay? This thing is huge. Big. And if this thing blows, friends, you will hear a about it. Now what's even more fascinating is, built into this caldera is actually another volcano, SAKURA, which is a big island volcano. It juts out of the Kagoshima Bay. And there's another problem, because you have a caldera of a big volcano, and then you have another volcano which is in the middle of that, called SAKURA, like sakura meaning cherry blossom, right? Now SAKURA is interesting because it is actually an active volcano. I think the last time it erupted was something like 1914, which is 100 years ago. Alright. Now, what's interesting about this earthquake is that it is active, right? It is active. In fact, sometimes you can even see smoke and stuff coming out of it, right? And what happens is, when SAKURA, the volcano inside the Aira caldera, which is a plug of another volcano, basically, when SAKURA erupts, the whole center of the Aira caldera sank by like around 24 inches, 2 feet, right? 60 centimeters. They say they use centimeters over here. In fact, there is actually a movie called Wrath of the Gods, and it's a movie based upon what happens in the volcano. Now, I'm kind of worried about this, because I think if this thing starts smoking again and starts erupting, I think it erupted a couple of years ago, sometime like around 2009. What's going to happen to Japan? We got Die Fuck You at the top, we got SAKURA, and we got the big caldera, the Aira caldera at the bottom. Interesting times for Japan, friends. Let me know what you think. I think this is going to be a very interesting time. Maybe if you're a scientist, you can tell us what you think about the chances of this thing erupting. Friends, please rate, subscribe, and comment. You know I'll live for your comments, right? And I promise I never censor comments, and I will respond to every single one. Okay, friends? Well, look it up on Google. It's called the Aira, A-I-R-A caldera. It is a huge, huge volcano right there in the South Japan. So big, the whole city's built on top of it, and another big volcano sits on top of it. So there you go. Okay, friends, take care. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. See you on the forum, www.thetokyoforum.tk. Bye for now, friends.